Helen Keller is one of the most famous deafblind people. She was born on June 27th, 1880 in Tuscumbia, Alabama. She was not born deaf and blind. It actually wasn't until she was 19 months old until she got an illness that doctors described as an acute congestion of the stomach and the brain. So this was most likely scarlet fever or meningitis, and this caused her to become deaf and blind. By age 7, Keller had over 60 home signs to communicate with her family, and she communicated well with her family's cook's younger daughter. For schooling, she began schooling at the Perkins Institute for the Blind. Her parents asked a lot of people for different advice. First, they went to a doctor named Dr. J. Julian Chisholm. He's an ear, eye, nose, and throat specialist in Baltimore. And they asked him for advice of who to talk to school Helen, and he told them to talk to Alexander Graham Bell, who was working with deaf and blind students. And he told them to go to the Perkins Institute for the Blind. And this is where she met her instructor, Ann Sullivan, and she was visually impaired, and she was only 20 years old, and had been a student at the school as well. She arrived at Keller's house on March 1887 to begin working with Helen before she actually went to the school, and she worked with her for about a year. The first word she tried to teach her was doll, and Helen became really frustrated because she didn't understand that words go with certain objects. So a breakthrough was made about 1 month after Anne started teaching her, and she said water, and that was her first word that she learned. Her formal education, she moved to New York to attend the Wright Hewinson School for the Deaf and to learn with Sarah Fuller at the Horace Mann School for the Deaf. And then in 1896, they returned to Massachusetts, and Keller entered the Cambridge School for the young ladies before gaining admittance in 1900 for Radcliffe College, and she was the first deafblind student to graduate with a bachelor's degree. Here are some of her accomplishments. She was the first deaf-blind person to earn a bachelor's in the arts degree, like I said. She wrote a total of 12 published books and several articles. In 1950, her and George Kessler founded the Helen Keller International Organization. It was devoted to research in vision, health, and nutrition. In 1920, she helped found the American Civil Liberties Union, and she was really involved in politics and worked a lot for the deaf and blind community. And that's all.